Hi guys, welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today we are doing a karmic pattern reading. This is a pick a card style reading, so choose the pile that resonates with you, and you can choose more than one if you're called to more than one, or watch all of them to see what messages resonate. And if you prefer to pick with crystals, we have sodalite for pile number 1, amethyst for pile number 2, and lapis lazuli for pile number 3. Choose the pile and use the timestamps pinned in the comment section or in the description box below to jump ahead to your reading and receive your messages. Enjoy! All right, hi pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and take a look at what cards came through for you in regard to your karmic patterns. So you have reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. I'm going to leave these for last because I have to explain kind of how these cards work. So you also have transportation in the reverse position. Celtic in the reverse position as well. Open your heart to love, Jesus. And persistence, Luch, in the reverse position as well. Now, these cards are called karmic cards, and they're houses, signs, and planets. They have the outcome and the action, so we're going to take a look at both of these aspects to see at what level this karma was created, as well as how to resolve it at the spiritual level, the mental level, and the physical level. So for houses, you have second house. The sign is Aries, and the planet is Pluto. So it actually goes Pluto in Aries in the second house. There we go. I had them a bit mixed up there. All right, so the spiritual message, when we read it across from the top, is resurrect your willpower patiently. The mental message is get to the heart of what you think you know about what you want. And the physical message is do or die. You must do it your own way and get what you need. So Pluto is all about transformation. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's concerned primarily with the self. And the second house is to do with your self-worth and your physical financial security or abundance. So what I'm seeing here, pile number 1, is that in a past life, you really gave a lot. You allowed your heart to be very open, and some of that was great, but the problem here and the reason that there's karma is that you may have given too much. You may have overextended yourself and depleted yourself emotionally and energetically. The other side of this is self-sacrifice. So when I see Jesus here, I'm seeing almost like the sacrificial lamb and that energy of being crucified to save other people. So this very heart-centered loving energy was ultimately causing you to self-sacrifice or put yourself in harm's way or to take on the burdens of others as well. This could have been in a Celtic society, and I do see religion being a part of that as well. So especially since it's coming up right next to Jesus, it's this feeling of there was that sense of responsibility of being in a position where you could give for the Lord. So you were doing it with that mindset of religious fortitude and faith, but the problem was that the act of doing that was out of alignment with you at soul level, because sacrificing yourself or giving especially with the obligation to others, is not of your highest good. The other side of that was the feeling or the reason why this type of giving was enacted in the first place. When we're looking at the second house here, it really is because there was most likely an underlying wound around your self-worth. And so by trying to heal other people or give to other people, you were trying to prove that you were worthy, at the same time sacrificing yourself and your needs and not prioritizing what you really wanted or needed to be or to do in that lifetime, prevented you from feeling as though you were worthy. So it was a self-perpetuating cycle, which is exactly what karma is. Karma is just an action that we took or that we made repeatedly that is out of alignment with who we are at soul level. And because of that, it continues to repeat until that momentum is canceled out by our consciousness having an awareness of what that pattern was, why it was out of alignment, and why we no longer want to do that action anymore. So karma isn't about right or wrong, good or bad. It's not a reward or a punishment. It really is just you doing things at the level of action that are not aligned or coming from an aligned place. So in this case, the act of giving, the act of loving other people, or the act of even perhaps being a missionary, I just got that message here. So the cross and the transportation could represent going on missionary pilgrimages or duties to spread the word of God or to try to help people. But the problem with that was that if it wasn't coming from the right place, if it wasn't coming from a place of heart-centered core energy where you're feeling abundant to be able to share those things, if it was coming from a place of lack or a place of self-worth deficit, that's where the overextension of the self is, because there's a lack of boundaries around how to give, when to give, or who to give to. That's what I'm seeing here with luch as well, with persistence. It's this feeling of persisting at something that you should have stopped at some point. It's like you could probably feel that there were deficits that came from this, or there were roadblocks that were put in your way, or you kept giving away things that you actually needed. It could even been finances, because we do have the second house here. Could have been that you were giving people money, or giving the church money, or investing in things that were not giving you a return on that investment, or investing or giving in ways that you didn't have the money to give, which consistently doing that puts you at a disadvantage. So Pluto is the planet of transformation, and it does cause us to have to go through these very intense death and rebirth cycles. Because it's coming up right underneath transportation, this could have been the method of death that occurred in that lifetime. And it may have been traumatic, because I'm being shown that there was something to do with the transportation that went wrong. And there was this feeling of, I can't get where I need to go. And because of that, the lifetime took on an even heavier, denser energy than it already had. So this could be, for example, what I'm seeing in my mind is like being on a ship and having the voyage go very badly and hitting rough weather, or the ship eventually going down and sinking, and that causing the death physically, with this unresolved karma still hanging around. The self-sacrifice and the choices that were made in that lifetime ultimately led to this death, is what I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing that there were roadblocks that were placed in your way in that lifetime to prevent you from doing this, but you persisted and you pushed through them because you felt like you had to do this on some level. I do feel, again, that energy of obligation is underlying those choices. It wasn't like you wanted to do it because it felt aligned, or you wanted to do it because it really did come from an authentic, heart-centered place. It was more like, I feel like I need to do this to make myself worthy, or I need to do this because it will prove that I can get into heaven, or something like that. It's coming from that lower vibrational space, which is where that karma is created because it's out of alignment with your authentic, empowered self. So in this lifetime, it's important to prioritize yourself. It's important to heal that wound within you through unconditional love and compassion for yourself, first and foremost. So if you find that this is a pattern in your current life where you overextend yourself or you give too much physically, emotionally, whatever it happens to be, putting yourself last is going to continue to perpetuate this cycle. So it is important that you resurrect your own willpower and have patience with yourself as you do this, which will allow you to get to the heart of what you think and what you want by reconnecting to yourself, by really coming into a place of clarity within you and your needs, rather than focusing so much on other people to the detriment of yourself. Now, I do want to see what the opposite side of these cards have to say as well, so we can flip them around. And on the other side here is the outcome. So the upright here was the action. So I read that as the action that implemented the karma. And then on the other side here, we're going to do the outcome. So this will be the outcome to clear the karma. Hey guys, it's Editing Siobhan. I just wanted to clarify that the action is actually what's needed to shift the karmic pattern in this lifetime, and the outcome was actually the cause of what created the karmic pattern in the past life. The reason I had them reversed was because when we're doing a present life karmic reading, we look at the action that needs to be taken as the action now, and the outcome is the outcome of that action. But in this case, since we're looking at past lives, it's actually turning out to be reversed. So at the spirit level, it is the need for control of energies to meet the challenge of your beliefs. And the mental level, an obsession with your desires regarding what you value. And at the physical level, it's a power struggle resulting from the honesty and strength of your resources. Basically, what that means is that you were trying to assert your beliefs in that lifetime through religion or through missionary work or through giving to absolve yourself or even others from that perception or that belief of sin. And so by doing that, you kind of misused that energy. It was like too much. It was an overextension of that energy rather than allowing things to just be as they were and to love unconditionally. It became conditional in the sense that you felt like you had to do this, and you also felt like other people needed you to do it as well. An obsession with your desires regarding what you value. This could have, again, relayed back to the values of the faith or the belief system at that time and wanting to impart that knowledge on others. But I'm hearing force that knowledge on others. So it's almost like, again, it was a disempowering choice, because when you disempower other people, you disempower yourself. We're all one. So the actions that you were taking, you believed them to be in service to other people. But again, it was not in service to yourself, and it was not in service to the other people either, which created this power struggle. Again, we're seeing the resources being a key theme here. So you may have given a lot of money to the church or invested a lot of money in these missionary type excursions. You may have even given a lot of money to people in your life that you were close to because you loved them and you cared about them and you wanted to protect them. And so because of that, you put yourself in a position of lack where you now didn't have enough money to do the things that you wanted or needed to do. So there's this very imbalanced energy wherever it happens to show up, in either the self-worth, the application of faith, and also involving the finances. So these three things are really tied together here. And then the death through that mishap in the transportation on the way to doing some kind of very persistent missionary work or trying to spread the word of God or the word of Jesus. It did not end well. So in this lifetime, what do you need to do to heal? So in this lifetime, to heal, it is important for you to connect to your own heart, to connect to your inner child, to renew your own sense of value, to renew the faith within yourself, within love itself, rather than any kind of belief sets or feeling like you're responsible for doing things for other people so that you can feel worthy, or giving so much to other people so you can feel worthy. It's healing through the opposite actions, which are prioritizing your needs, setting healthy boundaries, releasing the need to control other people's lives or experiences or how they choose to live or what they believe in, and focusing instead on what you believe in and how you can actually embody that. So it's kind of like walking your own talk and being in an empowered position within yourself. So feeling worthy and deserving of the love and the time and the energy and the money that you invest in yourself. And so it might be a little bit challenging. I work with some clients who I see this type of pattern from past or even from present lives, where they really struggle to put the priority back on the self. And so we kind of have to unpack that a little bit and go through the reasons why it's important and how it's going to help the self to get stronger and to actually be in service, which is usually what these types of souls want to do, right? We want to be in service, we want to help others, but not at the expense of self. At the expense of self is a disservice to yourself and therefore a disservice to others as well. So it's a lose-lose. Whereas when you're in service from an empowered place where you have enough to give, your sense of self-worth is not hinging on your ability to be of service, that's when it's a win-win situation. And people can choose of their own free will whether they would like to accept that service or not. It doesn't become something that you're enforcing on them or trying to control them through. Let's get some clarifiers here, some additional information on this past life and what you can do in this lifetime to heal it. So for pile number 1, you have the Page of Cups and the 3 of Wands. What else for pile number 1? You have this 5 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the 9 of Cups. Wow, okay. So pile number 1, what I'm seeing here is that yes, you definitely gave a lot. You have a very compassionate heart and you're a clear thinker. You have very strong beliefs. You have a sense of balance and justice and fairness. And that was what you were trying to go for in that lifetime. But the emotional wounding underneath, specifically in regard to your inner child from that past lifetime. So your early childhood in that lifetime was probably one that was fraught with some pain or some issues around you feeling a sense of worthiness within yourself to be able to prioritize your needs. It may have been taught to you that to be worthy, you needed to give to others. And so that was the belief set that you adopted, and that was what you then lived your life under the impression of as being truth. To clear this now, it's coming into a new truth, which is more balanced and more focused on not just the self, also others as well, but in a very harmonious way. And doing this can be a process of releasing some of the grief and the suffering that has resulted from putting yourself last and not prioritizing what it was that you needed. The 9 of Cups here, though, with Reward Yourself is beautiful because I do see you healing this very profoundly in this lifetime and stepping into your capacity to love yourself so deeply and allow yourself to fully experience the joy and the power that lives within you, and creating happiness and good luck and allowing yourself to have more and more and more that you need because you went without in that lifetime and it did not end well. You're very purpose oriented. I can see that, pile number one. You're very mission focused, and you still may be that way to some degree in this lifetime, although it's obviously probably not going to be the traditional missionary type of energy again. But it's like you're looking for something to believe in. You're looking for something to have or to give you purpose in your life. And you're very creative and empathetic and compassionate and intelligent. And so you see the grief in the world, you feel the grief, you might be an empath, you're very sensitive, you have a very open heart. So again, the intentions were good in the past life. It was the application of them and the reasons why those actions were put into place that was misaligned. So coming back into your own healing, discovering who you are, allowing yourself to express yourself freely in this lifetime and to prioritize your needs, your healing, your grief around having those needs unmet, and then ultimately your joy is really what's going to help you to heal this karmic pattern and to continue forward in this lifetime free from these cycles and much, much more aligned. So this is what I see for you, pile number one. Very heavy energy from that past life, but I do see you breaking free from it in this lifetime and really setting yourself free, doing some heart healing and allowing yourself to find a new passion and a new purpose that is much more aligned with your own inner truth. And if you are looking for any additional personal information about this particular past life or any other karmic past lives that you may be struggling with, I do offer Akashic readings. The soul realignment readings are the ones that we go in and we specifically look at karmic patterns from the past that are still repeating and are needing to be cleared or are ready to be cleared at the time of the reading. So if you're interested in that, you can find the information and the booking through the link in the description box below to my website, To Kitty and Beyond. Thank you so much for watching, pile one. I'm sending you so much love and blessings as you continue to step into your power and align yourself to clear this karma. Many blessings, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at your cards. You have blessing in disguise. What appears to be a problem is actually part of your answered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything resolves. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. I'm going to explain how these cards work in a second. You have Atlantis in the reverse position. And vows. You also have Follow Your Heart, St. Francis, in the reverse position as well. And Energy Healing with Merlin. Okay. Now let's take a look at your karma cards. So you have the planet, the sign, and the house. Okay, so we're going to look at the outcome first to give us an idea of what happened in that past life and why, and then we'll look at the action to clear it in this lifetime. The soul level influence here was the nurturing of dedication to achieve freedom. The mental level aspect of this was feelings caused by focusing on associations. And the physical level was the reactions resulting from the rules imposed by your circle of friends. So what I'm seeing, pile number two, is that in that lifetime, which I can see was in Atlantis, so you may be a light worker who incarnated into the Atlantean timeline to experience the higher potential of humanity. However, as we know, Atlantis became out of whack. So the energetic alignment was shifted and it started to get less spiritually aligned. And because of that, it was destroyed. Because of that, it was part of the destruction of Atlantis. So I do see that your intention in that lifetime to incarnate into that Atlantis timeline was to bring about more freedom for the soul and for humanity. So your intention was to incarnate there and to embody that freedom and to provide energy healing as well, because I do see that in that lifetime you were an energy healer. However, what ended up happening was that you became constricted by some of the distorted mentalities that began to take over. And you may have been in a group of people that initially the intention was good. Initially, you started out wanting to heal and wanting to better the society, but ultimately it became about restriction, which was the opposite of what you came there to embody and to create, which was freedom. So these vows that were said, vows can be spoken or they can be enacted at the level of action. And these are one of the karmic programs that we clear in the soul realignment reading. Sometimes I'll see like vows of sacrifice or vows of suffering and things like that. But it can be something you said, something that was perhaps part of your energy healing credence, or it could have been a result of things that you were doing at the time. And a vow can get enacted non-verbally through repeated levels of behaviors, things that we continue to do that basically create an energetic contract that we fulfill by continuing to repeat that cycle or repeat that action. So I see here that you were trying to bring blessings, you were trying to follow your heart, you were trying to bring that healing to Atlantis by incarnating there and embodying freedom, but you ended up getting caught up in the net of other people's beliefs or the restrictions and the societal rules that were being imposed on you. So it became this sort of battle between what you intuitively felt called was right for you and what other people were saying was right. So you kind of abandoned what your original intention or embodiment was so that you could retain these associations or retain this sense of belonging within this community. However, this was a choice that was out of alignment ultimately, yes, and it will need to be cleared. That's why it's coming up today. But I still do see that it was a blessing in disguise. This was something that is going to help you to better stay in alignment in this lifetime, especially if you're doing this type of energy healing again. If you're called to Reiki or quantum healing or hypnosis therapy or anything like that, they are saying to follow your heart and that you can trust it. But you may be doubting yourself in this lifetime or resisting putting yourself out there in that same way because of that wounding, because of that karma. So that does need to be cleared if you're wanting to step into this power within you to heal this. So let's take a look at the action steps that are going to help you to do that. So we're going to turn these cards around and look at the other side. So you have defend your goals for humanity's sake. Accept the day-to-day reality of your hopes and wishes, and let your feelings tell you how to use the most business-like way and to do it for the future. So this is really interesting because you are still going to be following the rules, doing things in a business-like way with this Capricorn energy. It's still for the collective here with the 11th house. And you're using your intuition, your psychic abilities, your capacity to move energy, your spiritual nature in its highest expression. So you are doing what you set out to do in that initial lifetime in Atlantis. But in this timeline, in this current incarnation, you're doing it in a way that is balanced. So you're not abandoning what you believe to be true and what you feel like you need to be doing and in the way that you need to be doing it. And yet you are still doing it in a way that follows the rules, in a way that is socially acceptable to some degree, and is going to still be very, very helpful in supporting other people in their healing and in the collective ascension as well, if you're interested in that. I have lots more information on my other channel, To Kitty and Beyond. And this is really what's aligned with you at soul level. It's part of your hopes and wishes, which is why even though this was, something that you did need to go through and to understand this pattern to resolve it, it's going to come out with blessings because you are retaining the knowledge that you hold at soul level from that lifetime in Atlantis. And you're also learning from that lesson, learning from that karmic pattern, what doesn't work and how not to do it. And so not repeating that pattern in this lifetime will help in the ascension of humanity so that that Atlantean type of karmic timeline does not repeat, so that that destruction doesn't happen, to kind of wipe the slate clean. And rather we're able to rise up together rather than becoming separated by differing beliefs or splits in consciousness, because that's essentially what I'm seeing happened in Atlantis. There was a split between the feminine and masculine consciousness. And I don't mean male, female. I mean the polarities of energy within us all. So the masculine is more focused on doing and the feminine is more focused on being. The feminine is more spiritually based and the masculine is more physically based. And if we separate those two within ourselves, we become unbalanced. And that's what ended up happening with Atlantis, was they started out very balanced, where both sides were being harmoniously combined. And because of that, the society was thriving. But eventually what happened was those two sides split apart, and the disconnection resulted in chaos. Essentially, it resulted in chaos between the people within the societal structure, and then eventually the cataclysm of the sinking of Atlantis. They're showing me kind of what happened here. It wasn't just a natural disaster. It was actually something that was kind of self-imposed or self-created. So there was some kind of technology. It might have been something that shifted the tectonics beneath the city. And so, yeah, it does feel like they shifted the tectonics underneath the city and it caused it to sink down into the ocean. I don't believe that this was intentionally done. And if it was, I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's not going to repeat in this lifetime. So this is coming up for you to clear this. This is coming up to your conscious mind from the subconscious mind, which is ruled by the moon, so that you can free yourself from this pattern and truly step into your divine expression in this lifetime without any of those limiting karmic beliefs or patterns or wounds held within your soul blueprint. Wow. Okay. Let's get some more information. All right, so let's take a look at what else you need to know from this Atlantean lifetime. You have 10 of Pentacles and the Empress. Oh my God. There's so much abundance here. So yes, this is the blessing that's coming from this, the blessing in disguise. Sorry if you can hear the rain outside. It just started raining so heavily. You have Temperance. That's the balance I was just talking about between the masculine and feminine. And it's creating balance within you to know how much to use or what to do and in what way. It's like this trial and error of the past in Atlantis is helping you to better implement your healing in this lifetime in a very, very abundant, stable, structured way. You have the Seven of Wands. Okay, so with all of these cards, what I'm seeing here is you being on a path in this lifetime that was the original intention for that Atlantean life. And so you're doing it now rather than then, and you're taking what you learned then and bringing it forward now. This is going to help you to get up that mountain to the peak, which is where you may have felt like you couldn't get before, like there were things that were blocking your way. But in this lifetime, you will have the resources, you will have the stability, and you will have the creative capacity and the balanced inner self to be able to make this happen. I also see the 10 of Pentacles here as like a lineage. So you have this ancient knowledge held within your DNA at this lineage level from these lifetimes in Atlantis or lifetime in Atlantis that are going to help you to create a lot of abundance here, not just for yourself, but also for others through energy healing, through energy work of some kind, or from service to others in some semblance of that. It may be very practical because we did have Capricorn here. It may be hands-on type of healing where you're working with holistic. I just heard holistic coaching, but I was also drawn to the fruit. So you might be teaching people how to eat healthier. You might be teaching people how to create wealth for themselves as well, because you have this capacity to be able to create abundance for yourself and you know how to do that. So you might be manifestation coaching or a holistic nutritionist. You may be an actual energy healer where you're doing Reiki or quantum healing, things like that. But it's very hands-on. It's very practical. You're doing it in a business-like way. So I do see this being a career that you are either in right now in this lifetime or that you're being called into as soon as you get this Atlantean karma cleared out of the way. It will be a lot easier for you to do that. It's like you get to keep the benefits and the learning from that lifetime, but without the restrictions and the blocks that came from that karma. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what else. What else does pile number 2 need to know? 8 of Pentacles. So many pentacles. Yeah, it's this energy of very grounded practical work. It's service oriented, and it's also training and honing your skills. So I do see the 8 of Pentacles here discussing, learning and practicing and studying and continuing to hone your craft so that you feel confident in your ability to create physical results, either, energetically or quite literally physically. If you're working with healing people hands-on like that with food, it would be, making sure that you have the prerequisite knowledge and skills to be able to help them to achieve the healing that they're looking to do. And that's where it's really in integrity for you, because you are getting to live your authentic expression, your divine purpose, and you're getting to help people. So it is this beautiful win-win energy. And that's how you know you're in alignment, is when things are win-win. Okay, let's see what else. For pile number 2, what else does pile number 2 need to know here? You have the 9 of Cups. Oh my God. I see in this lifetime, pile number 2, that you are seriously stepping into your abundance. This is like the blessing lifetime where all of the original intentions for the incarnations are coming finally to fruition. You're making it to the top of that mountain. You have the capacity now. You have the knowledge. You have the skills. You have the backing. You have the experience. And you have the support as well. I do see you really overflowing energetically with luck and abundance. So yes, you are spiritually very, very powerful and extremely capable of doing this work. I see that you getting into alignment and continuing to clear any relevant blocks and restrictions that come up for you is really going to help you to do that for other people as well, because you have the experience for yourself and you know how it works. This is unlocking so much fulfillment for you. I see independence. So you're serving the collective, but you're not beholden to anyone else and how they want to do things. You're doing it your way in this lifetime, and you're creating so much freedom, so much abundance, and a great, big, huge sense of fulfillment is what I'm getting from you. It's like, finally, I did it. I did what I set out to do. Oh, here, maybe you can see, I've got chills. Yep. Goosebumps, that means truth. Anytime I get full body chills like that, I get like a wave of energy that moves through me, and it's a big confirmation from spirit of truth. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so, so happy for you. For us, actually, because I'm in this group too. And you have the 4 of Pentacles. You are creating such a solid foundation. Again, this is very practical, very grounded, and yet it's so spiritually aligned. And that is what's creating all of this abundance. It's like you've got the money, you've got the resources, you've got the legacy, you've got the knowledge, the skills, the sense of joy and fulfillment that lights up your heart every time you get to do this work. It's absolutely amazing. And you know what? That's what you came here to do. That's what you came here to be and to experience. So I just want to give you a round of applause, pile number 2. Thank you for being here. Thank you for dealing with this so that you can be in service in the most empowered way to the collective and to yourself, so that you can embody that freedom, that abundance, that compassion, that care, and that balance. That is what the world needs more of, and you are here providing it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have so much love in my heart for you, pile number 2, and I'm wishing you so many blessings as you continue on this divine path in this lifetime. Many blessings. And if you do need any support energetically, I quite literally am an energy healer. I'm an Akashic reader. I'm a psychic medium. If you guys need any of that support to do any healing work or clearing or coaching or manifestation support, I've got all sorts of amazing transformational services, and you can check them out at the link in the description box below to my website, tokittyandbeyond.com. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and look at your cards. You have daydream. You will more easily hear and receive our messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, or ideas as if you were watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity. Oh yeah, these ones we're going to wait, and I'll explain how these work in a second. You have wisdom in reverse. You have trust and faith. Artistic expression, Paul the Venetian. And Go Now, Serapis Bey. Now let's take a look at your karma cards. So we have the planet, the sign, and the house. You have Mercury in Pisces in the 10th house. And we're going to start with the other side, which is the outcome that caused this karma. And then the reversed position there will be the action to clear it. So you have at the spirituality level, the awareness of spirituality to ultimately experience your destiny. At the mental level, many thoughts about or from trusting your psychic knowledge of where you're going. And at the physical level, many words resulting from the indecision of or about your career. So pile number 3, what I see is that this past life karma is when you were an artist and you didn't fully trust yourself to impart your wisdom through your art in a way that other people would receive it. So you wanted to share spiritual wisdom through art, or you wanted to impart your faith into your artwork or into your creative expression. This could have been writing, as that's what's coming to my mind, but it could have also been sculpture work, because I'm also seeing that, as well as painting. The Renaissance era is coming up here as well, so I'm seeing that this may have been in that time period, and you were very creative. You had a lot of capacity to connect to the realm of imagination, which is that daydream energy that we're seeing there in the cards. Now, there was something that you wanted to do, but you didn't put into action in that lifetime. I see that you talked a lot about these ideas, or you tried to share them, but it may have become distorted in some way with that wisdom card in reverse. It's as though the idea that you had became something unlike what it was initially in your mind. So maybe it took on a different meaning in its application, or perhaps it was something that you didn't actually mean to create, but that was created anyway. I'm also seeing that this could have been an issue with creating. I'm seeing like writer's block or artist's block, where the inspiration goes away and you go into this state of desperation or despair, feeling cut off from this imaginative realm, your psychic intuition, and your ability to create art. I see that trust and faith was a big theme of that lifetime. So the catalyst for this lifetime and the experience through this karmic choice was initially to create more trust and faith within you, to surrender to the divine, to allow your mind to wander and to access this information that lay beyond the rational mind, the logical mind, so that you could tap in to something much greater and outside of yourself. But unfortunately, there may have been some practical things within this career or this potential line of career in that lifetime that didn't seem feasible. And so the trust and faith required to express your artistic vision was halted. I see you very conflicted in that lifetime, and you struggled and battled with yourself internally about how to express yourself in this way that was really calling to you at a soul level. But maybe you didn't have the finances, or maybe you didn't have the patronage that you would have needed to supplement your income in the way that would allow you to support this work. You were meant to do that in this lifetime. You were meant to do this artistic work. You were meant to allow yourself to daydream and to tap into this higher wisdom. And then through the trust and faith of what you would receive through these channeled messages or through this vision would then allow you to express yourself in this way and create and manifest abundance for yourself. My throat chakra is getting really blocked up as I'm doing this reading. So for some of you, like I said before, this artistic expression was through words. Since we do have Mercury here, this is a reiteration of that. So this is communication in all forms. It didn't have to be through writing, but that's what I'm seeing. Was this ability to channel information into storytelling and create something that was an expression of your artistic vision, and that would also impart wisdom. It was a highly spiritual gift. It is still, and you still have this, a highly spiritual gift to be able to relay this information through creative expression. It is part of your destiny here with the 10th house, but you did have a hard time trusting your psychic knowledge of where you were going. You didn't see how it would end up creating something sustainable or something that would support you in the way that you needed. So in this lifetime, if you're struggling with implementing your spiritual vision or your creative vision or any kind of artistic expression, this could be why. It's this pattern of doubting yourself, I see not even just doubting yourself, but doubting that higher power or doubting that destiny or doubting that wisdom, that information that you get when you're in that very receptive mode of daydreaming. But this is part of your artistic expression. It is part of your spiritual nature, and it's the awareness of this that was meant to propel you towards your destiny to do it now, and you're still meant to do it in this lifetime. But in this lifetime, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust and have faith in this vision, in this artistic expression, in the way that it's going to move through you. Because you are, I'm seeing like the conduit for this message or for this wisdom. And it was blocked off in that past life. It wanted to come through you, but you doubted, and so you shut it down. And it didn't happen. You kept it all inside. So in this lifetime, if you've been called to this reading, you're ready to clear this. You're ready to step into your artistic vision. You're ready to communicate your truth. You're ready to channel this wisdom through you. So let's look at the action steps. So the spiritual level action is communicate your dreams responsibly. The mental action is analyze your idealization of success. And the physical action is let your mind tell you how to be a part of something overwhelming and become a person of power and status. This is really interesting. So the spiritual level is communicating this wisdom responsibly. That's what I was kind of seeing as well, is that it may have not been responsibly communicated initially. So having something move through you and then having it be distorted perhaps by the ego or by fear or by some other lower vibrational aspect of the incarnated self. It's almost like it becomes a filter that goes over the projector, and so the light that comes through, which was once very clear and crisp and clean, gets distorted into something that is not what it originally was. And sometimes that distortion is fine, but in this case, specifically regarding this past life karma, the distortion was not the original intention of that information or of that wisdom or of that artistic vision. And so that was what created that doubt, and then that was what shut down the inspiration and the drive to want to create and the passion to want to share. And therefore that karmic pattern was set in motion. And that's all that karma is. It's just energy set in motion through our actions and choices. And the reason that we perceive negative karma as a punishment a lot of the time in our culture or society is simply because we're not understanding that it's cause and effect, and it's very neutral. It's simply a product of our choices made from that misaligned place. And so the way to clear the karma is just to acknowledge that, to understand that, and to participate actively in no longer choosing those types of actions or behaviors. So it does require you to shift your mindset. It does require you to have that mental fortitude and discipline to readjust the way that you're doing things. And that is what does clear the karma. So letting your mind tell you how to be a part of something overwhelming and become a person of power and status. So when I'm seeing this in this present life, being a part of something overwhelming here with this Pisces energy can be about something that is going on in the world. This is like a global issue or even a spiritual issue that may feel overwhelming. But by you connecting through this psychic wisdom or this intuition that you have, or this artistic ability to channel this kind of wisdom, it's actually going to help the collective to heal psychically, spiritually, at the mental level as well. So it's soul and mind combined. And this is what's going to create a lot of success and allow you to fully step into your power. I think that was another aspect of that past life karma, was the fear of your own power and therefore the responsibility that comes with it. So it was a little bit of an abdication of the responsibility of holding that power, because if you are not being responsible with that power, that's when the distortions can happen, and that's when people can get hurt or misinterpretations can occur, or when you yourself will start to doubt and to shut that down as almost like a safety mechanism. It's like a safety protocol. If you can't be responsible with it, then the power is taken away either by you or by the higher aspect or expression of you. So let's get some additional details here from this past life, pile number 3. What else does pile number 3 need to know about this past life? You have the World card. Yes, I felt that from Pisces here. So this is really trusting your mission to serve the world in this way through expressing your vision and knowing that you can be responsible with this artistic expression in this lifetime. You've got the Go Now card. You are ready. It's time. You've completed this karmic cycle. The World card is about completion of a cycle. It is completion of this pattern of learning. And so you can certainly trust yourself because you have matured since this previous lifetime. You have learned a lot through your experiences, and you have come to this state of understanding where you now fully respect and honor the power that you have to hold this information and to transmit it clearly. Okay, let's see what else is coming through for you. Pile number 3. The 10 of Pentacles, and this is amazing, and I'm putting it right here, and this is exactly the same spot that pile number 2 had the 10 of Pentacles as well. So if you were called to that pile, you may have lived in that lifetime as well. So the 10 of Pentacles is this great success. This is the 10th house This is public notoriety. This is being a person of status or power. In this case, doing it responsibly and leaving a positive legacy for the world, and really having that sense of power be shared. That is the wisdom here. That is what allows you to have this trust and faith in yourself, knowing that you're not doing it for selfish means. You're doing it because it's your calling, because it is your destiny to communicate this information, to communicate this vision in a highly unique and artistic way that only you can do. It's like the information is out there waiting to be channeled into reality, but through anybody else's filter, it would not look the same. It would not come out the same. So the example they're showing me is if somebody else had downloaded the story of Harry Potter, it would look completely different. The characters, the storyline, all of those things would be different if J.K. Rowling had not been the one to channel that story. So you see that it is very important that it's the individual that is a match frequency-wise to that story to make sure that it comes through them. So if you're a writer, or if you are a poet, or if you are even a blogger, I just heard in my head, if you do blogs, if you write and you think, I'm not really a creative, I'm not really like in the spiritual realm, or I don't consider myself an artist. You know what? You are, because if you're channeling information, even if it's very practical, it's still an artistic expression. Let's see what else is coming through here for pile number 3. These two. You have the Knight of Swords, which is the communicator energy here. And you have the Three of Pentacles, which is building something for the future. And I do see this as well as stacking things up. It's so funny because this card came up in a client reading that I did couple days ago, and I saw this stained glass window here, and it reminded me of a rocket. So it's like it's launch time, it's blast off time, you're stacking things up, and you've gained all this experience from the past, and now you're ready to launch, you're ready to take off. And that's why we're seeing go now, do it now, stop procrastinating, it's time. Okay, nope, okay. You have the Moon card. I'm not surprised to see that here, since we did have Pisces energy coming up in the karma cards. The Moon card is ruled by Pisces, and this is the intuition. This is the realm of the subconscious, the imagination, the inner child. It's also your conduit to the higher self and the psychic realm. So tapping into this consciously and intentionally through daydreaming is really going to help you to hone in on this idea and to start putting it out into the world, or maybe even just getting it out from your mind or out from that inner realm into the outer realm, writing it down on paper or writing it down in your computer, that kind of thing. What else does pile number 3 need to know? You have the Four of Pentacles, which also came up in pile number 2, and the Nine of Cups, which also came up in pile number 2. Okay, so yes, we have a lot of crossover here. If you were in pile number 2 and you came to this reading, this is also confirmation for you. But I see this as a great success, a long-standing solution to a problem that's going to create a lot of stability for many people, and it's going to bring so many people so much joy, fulfillment, and it's going to bring you a lot of blessings of luck and a sense of fulfillment as well. So if you are holding yourself back here in this lifetime, you can let that go. It's time to move forward. It's time to take action and create something here, because that's what you're meant to do, and it is part of your destiny. The Knight of Swords here is a communicator, and he's here to show you that you can do this. You might feel that you're a little bit inexperienced still, but you can learn as you go. Just get it out of you, and then you can edit it later, or you can go back and adjust. And if it's a painting, for example, just get it out on the canvas, and then you can go back in later. You can always paint over or make adjustments. So it's that kind of thing with the Knight of Swords, helping you to kind of just take action without overthinking it. Like, just do it. It's go time. So it's really just about taking the action. They keep reiterating that message of do it now. Stop procrastinating. It's time. Write it out or paint it out or sculpt it out or speak it out. If it's something that you're wanting to say, if it's something you want to create, if it's a social media channel you want to speak on a certain subject, it's time. It's time to do it now. Your soul is ready. You are ready, and you can trust yourself to do this with integrity. All right, pile number 3, that is what I see for you. I'm wishing you so much luck and blessings as you step into this very destined career expression in this lifetime to do with communication and your artistic vision. If you are looking for any more personal information regarding your specific soul blueprint and karmic patterns therein, you can find all of my transformational services at the link to my website in the description box below this video. And I have soul realignment readings, psychic energy reading and healing sessions, spiritual counseling, mentorship, and 7D manifesting blueprints as well to support you in empowering yourself, stepping into your highest timeline, creating the life that you dream about, that you've been, daydreaming about, and allowing yourself to be this destined version of you that you were always meant to be, that you truly are. So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more pick a card readings.